All right, if you're in the fight against retinitis pigmentosa, listen up, because the future of that fight is getting a serious upgrade. We're going to be looking at a battle plan for 2026 that completely flips the script, moving away from just waiting for a cure to actively locking in the vision that you have right now.
This is the mindset. This isn't about giving in. It's a rallying cry for every single RP warrior out there. It's all about fighting, adapting, and holding that line with everything you've got. And this is the big pivot, you know? For so long, the whole conversation was about finding that one miracle cure that would reverse everything. But the breakthroughs we're seeing for 2026, they're focused on something way more immediate and, honestly, incredibly powerful: preservation. It's about giving you the power to lock in the vision you have today.
So here's how we're going to break down this battle plan. We'll start with a new way of thinking, the doctrine. Then we'll get into the defensive line, launch a counteroffensive, call in some seriously high-tech reinforcements, and wrap it all up with a war room summary. Let's dive in.
First up, the new doctrine. This is really all about your mindset. We are absolutely entering a new era for RP warriors. And this right here, this is your guide to the strategies and the tools you're going to have in this active fight to preserve your vision.
Okay, let's move to our first strategy, building that defensive line. You know, in any battle, the very first thing you do is secure your position. And for us, that means protecting the retinal cells that are still working, still fighting for you.
And this whole idea hinges on a really critical concept: dormant cone cells. See, here's the thing. While many people experience that narrowing field of vision, what they might not realize is that a lot of their retinal cells aren't actually dead. They're just, well, they're sleeping. And that one idea, that they're not gone, just dormant, that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
So the big question is, how do we wake them up? Well, one of the most groundbreaking approaches is a therapy from sparing vision called SPVN20. Basically, it works by injecting what are called neurotrophic factors. You can think of them as life support proteins for your cells, right into the eye. These factors create this protective shield around those sleeping cells, stopping them from decaying, and, this is the crucial part, they work to wake them back up. This is absolutely vital for holding on to that precious central vision.
Okay, so once we've got our defenses set, it's time to go on the attack. The counteroffensive isn't just about protecting cells anymore. It's about actively revitalizing them, getting them to function better, and actually fight back against the disease's progression.
And the number one weapon in this offensive is called J-cell therapy from a company called J-Cyte. Now, this is one you really want to keep your eye on. It's a kind of retinal progenitor cell therapy. What that means is it uses these special cells that can help support and maybe even revitalize the retinal cells you already have. The entire medical community is holding its breath for key data on this, which we're expecting in the first quarter of 2026.
Now here's the real kicker with J-cell, its safety profile. See, unlike a lot of other cell therapies that can have a risk of your body rejecting them, which means patients have to take these powerful, ongoing immunosuppressant drugs, J-cell doesn't have that problem. The progenitor cells are injected, they get to work, and you skip that whole complication. That makes it a way safer and more accessible treatment for a lot more people. So what's the mission plan for this attack? Well, it's got three main goals. First, protect the photoreceptor cells you've still got. Second, potentially wake up your own dormant cells, just like we talked about with the defensive strategy. And third, put the brakes on the overall progression of vision loss. It's a really powerful, three-pronged assault on the disease right at the cellular level.
But hey, this battle isn't just being fought in a lab or a clinic. We have some seriously powerful high-tech reinforcements coming in. These are the tools that support every RP warrior in their daily life, boosting independence and quality of life like right now.
I want you to think of this as your own personal AI co-pilot. By 2026, we're talking about next-generation assistive devices like OrCam and new AR glasses that are just going to be way more powerful. They can identify traffic lights for you in real time, literally tell you the height of a curb or a step, and even use AI to digitally sharpen the edges of objects, making the world around you so much clearer and easier to navigate.
And there's one more layer of support we can add: oral supplements. Specifically, antioxidants like NAC are showing some major promise in the final stages of clinical trials. The best way to think about these is that they help reduce the internal stress on your retinal cells, protecting them from damage. It's another simple, accessible tool to add to your arsenal.
Okay, time to head to the war room and put all these pieces on the map. We've talked about defense, we've talked about a cellular offense, and we've talked about tech support. Now let's see how it all comes together to form one single, cohesive battle plan.
And here it is. This is the complete,
holistic strategy for 2026. You've got your biological defense with therapies like SPVN20 shielding your dormant cells. You have your cellular offense with J-Cell actively working to revitalize your retina. And all of that is propped up by tech and lifestyle reinforcements like AI glasses and NAC. It's a war on multiple fronts. And for the very first time, we have a clear, actionable plan for every single one of them.
So this leaves us with one final and I think really empowering question. When you look at this entire toolkit, the therapies, the tech, the supplements, is the future of managing RP less about just waiting for some distant single cure and more about using a combination of all these strategies to actively outsmart the disease, day by day? Now that is a powerful thought.